it's Jerry Robert. I'm the author of several best-selling books, including Multiply Your Business, The Millionaire Mindset, and others. And I'm excited about talking to you how you can finally get your book published now in 60 days. You've been thinking about writing your book for ages, and I'm the guy to help you get it done. Listen, if you want to get your book done and stop thinking about it, you have come to the right place, and I'm excited to be working with you about getting your book out now in 60 days or less. Hey, I am thrilled to be here with you. I travel right around the world for the past 25 years, spoken to over 3 million people. I'm on regular touring duties with people like Tony Robbins. I am on usually the speaker right before him on National Achievers Congress seminars and stages in front of thousands and thousands of people, people like Robert Kiyosaki, Les Brown, Richard Branson, all of the top speakers in the world. I have the opportunity of being there. And what I talk to them all about is how they can use a book to catapult their business and catapult their income. My next book, and the book I'm most excited about, is this one called Publish a Book and Grow Rich: How to Use a Book as a marketing tool as an income accelerator. And so I'm thrilled that you're here. I've helped more people than almost anybody on the planet, not almost anybody, than anybody on the planet, publish a book and use those books to build a business, to do more speaking, to change lives. I'm also the owner of Black Card Books, one of the fastest book publishers on the planet. We are currently publishing books for over 632 authors who are people who want to use that book to do more speaking, more traveling, more impacting, more income, more business building. And so I'm thrilled that you're here taking this 60-day challenge to stop talking about it and get your book finally out. I conduct seminars right around the world, me and a whole team of other speakers right around the world. We've had hundreds of thousands of people attend these boot camps called Publish a Book and Grow Rich. You'll have to make sure to come to one of these for sure. It'll impact your life. And so let's get right at it. Let's look at what you're going to get in these 4 videos. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about, in this one, the paradigm of completion. What's the one tool that you need to finally get your book done? Once we cover that, it's going to give you a roadmap to get your book completed. Now, if this thing is more than just a little wish list for you, it's something that you have to finally do, then I'm the guy to help you do it. And these 4 videos are going to give you the roadmap to run on. Video number 2 is called the must factor. It's the one missing ingredient that has probably stopped you and more people than anything I've ever seen before. And the must factor is going to show you how you can get your book done in 60 days or less. And I'm not kidding. I've done it. I've helped lots of other people done it. I went from poverty to earning tens of millions in a single year. I've brought in over $100 million from speaking and books and publishing. And so I'm telling you, you can do it, but you need this one must factor. And video number 3, listen, some of you have had a hard time writing these books. I'm going to show you a system on how you can write a book in 40 hours. I know you might think that that's absurd, but I'm telling you, you can if you have a track to run on. And I'm going to show you a 7-step method on how you can do that. And the last video is called the accountability syndrome. I'm going to show you how you can harness the power of other people to get your book done. I'm serious. You're going to love this. So let's get right at it. You know, I want to talk to you about the paradigm of completion. It's the one thing that you need to get your book finally out and into the world, having its impact on you. And why should you think about that? Well, you need to think about what a book can do for you before you think about anything about what the book's going to do for the reader. You see, if I ask you, what's your book going to do for you, often I get an answer that is not really correct. I asked the guy recently, I said, what's your book going to do for you? He said, I want my book to teach people how to lose weight safely and effectively by switching from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. But that's not a correct answer. I asked him what the book's going to do for him, not the reader. We don't care about readers, at least not right now. I'm asking you to think about, what do you want the book to do for you first? Because if you can get that done, man, anything can happen. So I said to him, what do you want the book to do for you? He said he wanted to increase the attendance at his seminars on weight loss. So you see, if he's focused on getting a book designed to attract leads to his seminar business, then he's going to write it and create it differently. See, a book is more engineered than it is written. And I want you to have the book that's going to have the most impact for you and your business and your life and your bank account, your brand, your expert status, all those things. But you got to think that through in advance. See, he's using a book as a lead generator. I'm using this book as a lead generator as well. This book is called Multiply Your Business. And I'll be giving away 100,000 of these per quarter next year. Well, if I know that I'm giving what I want the book to do for me is to generate leads, then it needs to be thin. You see, you need to think this through in advance. So you got to keep the main thing the main thing. Once you understand what the main thing, have everything subjugated or subordinate to that main primary objective. Listen, a book can do so many things for you. A book is an advertisement without it looking like an advertisement. I mean, when you've got a book as a marketing tool, as a brochure on steroids, man, you are powerful. It sells you, but it doesn't look like a sales tool. A book is phenomenal because it builds trust before you even start selling. And that's what Patsy Chia does in Singapore. She's a financial advisor. So before she goes on a sales call, she sends a copy of her book to her prospects. That book becomes a sales tool for her and sets up and changes and improves the whole atmosphere of that sales call when she goes there. You build trust. And in this day and age, people want somebody to trust. A book is a phenomenal tool to get free publicity. One of the people we published recently is Lily Cawthorne from Australia. She wrote a book called The Money Factory. She teaches people, primarily women, how to use how to buy and invest in factories, industrial real estate. Her and her husband, Barry, own a real estate agency there. And she's using the book to build her income and to build her speaking and also to build the company. Well, within a month of her book coming out, she appeared on national television in Australia. There she is right now, talking about her book. She appeared on that show for 7 minutes and 33 seconds. It is incredible the amount of publicity you can get if you are an author. So why do you want to use your book? What do you want your book to do for you? Now, of course, a book can do all kinds of things for you, but you got to ask yourself, if it could only do one thing, what would that one thing be? And then build your book around that. Make sure all the elements to get that objective are done. A book is a phenomenal tool to position yourself and your brand as an instant expert. That's what Jesse Christo in Toronto does, a financial advisor. When you're talking about money, people are very, very skeptical today. And so if you have a book and you're able to show them that you're a published author, it lowers their fear levels because it raises your expert status. And that's what you want. You see, a book is a phenomenal tool because survey after survey after survey have indicated that once you're an author, you move up the ladder in terms of the platform of trust. Jochen Siepman from Singapore is a real estate trainer. He teaches people how to invest in property. Well, the minute this book came out, it significantly increased how people viewed him in the marketplace. And so if you want a book primarily to position yourself differently, you're gonna have a strong author picture. You're gonna be positioned in a strong stance. Your book is going to enhance your level, but you need to think about this in advance. A book has a high perceived value. This is former United States Senator Brian Nieves who is one of our authors and also one of our speakers. Listen, when he shows a book and shows the copy of that book to people, and he gives it to somebody else, there's a strong increased perceived value. Even though the book may only cost him a few dollars, when he gives it to somebody, they have a perceived value of $20 or $30, $40 for that book. Listen, if you want to think about what you want the book to do for you, one of the big things is that a book pulls people to you. That's why you got to stop thinking about it and get that thing done. It's important. If you want more leads, and which business doesn't, you've got to use your book and be willing to give away a book in order to get a lead. Listen, there's not a lot of money selling books for most of us. Why would you chase $10 selling a book when you can earn $10,000 doing what it is you do, selling your product or services? And that's what happened to Rosita Shari, a great lady from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I published her book. She was a consultant and she was taking out a newspaper ad, getting 15 to 20 calls per week. I said to her, why don't you offer the book for free in the newspaper? So instead of getting 15 to 20 people calling her with the same size ad, when she offered a free book, she went from 15 calls a week to up to 500 because people love the word free. A book has an incredible power to separate you from everybody else who does what you do. And that's what my friend Charlie does in England. Charlie is a financial advisor, and he uses this book to separate him from all of the other financial advisors that he competes with. I mean, let's face it, we naturally tend to gravitate to the things that are unique. The problem is, for Charlie and many other people who have a lot of competition, their marketing does this. Well, that's over now. That's over now for Charlie. When Charlie goes around and shows people this as his calling card, as his name card, as his brand builder, you just gotta ask yourself, how many other of your competitors have a tool like that to build their business? Why do you want to get this book done? Get to the heart of that. A book makes you an instant authority. Listen, folks, I could keep going forever on the power of this thing. That's why you have to respond to this 60-day challenge. Watch each one of the 4 videos and make a decision that this book is going to get done. I'll help you do it, but you've got to make that decision. A book is never thrown away. Just imagine this. If you've got a book as a marketing tool, people will never throw that thing away. Your fancy brochures get thrown away. They're not even read in most cases. But a book, another thing a book does is it helps you get speaking engagements. This is Igor. Igor's traveled all over the world. It's helped his book. He's a fitness trainer. He now has other fitness trainers. He spends most of his time doing speaking engagements, doing seminars, building business using this book as the credibility tool. That's the same thing that my friend George does from Europe. Now, I've been on several continents with this guy where he's actually given speeches in the same seminar or in the same city as I have, and he uses this book. So if you're wanting to get speaking engagements, you have got to respond to this challenge and get this book out. The book that you see on the screen right now is Andrea, and Andrea is from Romania, and she's spoken in Europe, in different places around Europe, using this book, and she did that, get this, before her book was even out yet. And so you have got to make a commitment to getting this book done so that you can have the impact that you want if you're interested in doing more speaking. I could just go on forever. A book helps you close more sales. A book helps you open more doors. This is John Moakler, a financial advisor. He's in the very competitive market of financial services to the medical community. So he writes a book called Heal Thy Wealth, a book specifically targeted for his market. He'll use that book to send to doctors before he even has the appointment. It sets him up. It gets him speaking engagement. It raises his credibility. It brands him as an expert in that niche market. A book is a great tool to open doors. That's what happened to my friend Jeffrey Grinnell from Las Vegas. He's been able to use his book, and it's a great book. Don't rock your brain. He's been able to use that book to get speaking engagements. He's got interest now in a TV show. He's been able to find investors. He's just done a ton of speaking as a result of having that book, and it's only been out a little while. What do you want your book to do for you? A book is a phenomenal tool to create multiple sources of income. You know, you can create all kinds of businesses around a book. The minute you become an author, you get access to a minimum of 5 additional potential sources of income. And so, of course, a book can do all of those. But if you had to ask yourself, what's one thing your book can do for you, what would you want that to be? Is it to impact lives? As Suzanne Miles does with her phenomenal book, Fork It. This lady is on a mission to change people's lives in terms of the way they eat. She is proof of the pudding. I mean, she's got this book out. I've been speaking with her. I saw her speaking at a Tony Robbins event. I saw her speaking at a Richard Branson event. I saw her speaking in Canada, in Australia, and Singapore. I mean, this lady has been living her dream because she got her book. When are you going to step up into your dream? I hope it's now. I hope you're willing to do things. So let me give you the 3 critical factors, 3-step formula to figure out which is the best book for you to write. If you're not sure about what to write about, or if you are sure about what to write about, listen to the critical 3. The first step that I want you to do is to ask yourself, what do you want the book to do for you? I call that your primary objective. You need to determine what your primary objective is and focus on that. For example, a man came to my seminar one time and he told me he was doing a book of poems. Well, I'm not really a poem kind of guy, and he could tell that, and I guess I rolled my eyes a little bit, and he said, hey, and he puts his finger right in my face like that and says, hey, these poems are different. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, these poems are designed to teach men how to connect more intimately with their sons. Wow. I got 3 boys. I thought any book that helps people create a more intimate relationship with their male children is a good book, isn't it? That's a phenomenal book idea. So my first question is this one. What do you want the book to do for you? And he said, that's easy, Jerry. If I write this book, I want this book to get me publicity, because if I get publicity, I'll get on radio and TV and I'll invite men to come to my seminars. And he said this, Jerry, if men come to my seminars, I'm going to change their life, and I'll change the life of their boys. Wow. Now, is that a good book? Of course it's a good book. So now I ask myself, what's your primary objective? He tells me this thing about publicity. Now, is a book to get publicity, to change people's lives, is that a good objective? Yes. But he'll never get that objective met in 100 years with that book. You're never going to get publicity with a book of poems. Seriously, you won't. And so I said to him, if you want to get publicity, don't write a book about poetry. Write a book entitled How to Make Sure Your Boys Don't End Up Like Michael Jackson. That would get you publicity. So you see the difference? One is a passion book, one is a profit book. And the problem is most people start off thinking about publishing a book, and they only think about what the content of the book is. I'm saying before you write one word of content, ask yourself, if your book could only do one thing for you, what would that one thing be? And make that your primary objective. Now, a book can do all kinds of things, but if I'm doing a book to get speaking engagements, and that's my number one thing, then I'm going to be writing topics in there that will help me get speaking engagements. I'll say things like, in my seminars, I teach people blah, blah, blah. One of the things as a professional speaker traveling around the world, one of the things I've observed in my speaking engagements is, you see what I'm saying? You think through in advance what you want the book to do for you. That's the first thing. The next thing is critical, is who exactly are my readers? Because if you can really determine, not their psychographic, we'll cover that next, the demographics, who they are. Is it more women than men? Listen, if you're doing a book primarily for women, the cover should look different than if it's primarily for men. If you're doing a book for CEOs, you ought to use different language than if you're writing a book for salespeople. And most people don't give enough thought to that. They think everybody should read their book. Well, the reality is you can't market to everybody. And so I'm suggesting that you understand exactly everything about who that person is. What's their age? What's their income? Where do they live? Do they own a house? How many children do they have? Where they are in their career? Are they new people? Have they been at it for a long time? Because if you understand the who, then the next step, and we call this your target population. If you understand who your TPOP is, you'll get a much better angle on the next factor, the critical three, and that is what are their needs, desires, and problems. We call that the NDP. Determine the needs, desires of your TPOP. And folks, this is the most critical factor of all. Most people never think about this. They all start off with content. I want to write about this. I'm saying if you're not sure what to write about this. Identify a target population, a TPOP, and identify their biggest needs, desires, and problems. Your book, by the way, should be 80 to 120 pages. That's it. Seriously, you don't need to write Gone with the Wind here. Just write an 80 to 100 page book, get 10 chapters, 8 to 10 pages each. That's all you need. One chapter per problem or desire that your target market has, and that's it. That's all you have to do. If you follow these 3 steps, that will go a long way in getting you, number one, the right book, and the book that'll have the impact for you, for your income, for your business, or whatever it is your primary objective. Think through what are the problems of your target market. In this day and age, people are looking for solutions. There's been more information available to people than ever before, but they're looking for solutions to needs, desires, and problems. That's what you should focus on. I hope this has been helpful. Hey, the next video, you're going to love it. It's called the must factor. As I mentioned to you, I've gotten to know Tony Robbins and his philosophy a lot better because I've been traveling with him around the world. And this must factor in this next video will blow your mind. It'll show you the one missing ingredient that has stopped you. I'm going to show you how to increase your motivation, your excitement, your propensity to keep going, and identify the things that have stopped you. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to get this book out to win the 60-day challenge. I hope this has been helpful for you. And hey, before you go, I want to give you a quick assignment. If you're serious about this, and I'm not just talking about fooling around about getting this book done, if this is finally your time, at some point you've had to ask yourself, how much longer am I going to continue to think about it? If you're one of the people who are saying, listen, I'm ready right now, if you are, I want to give you an assignment. I call it the I'm serious assignment. I want you to send a simple email to coach@blackcardbooks.com, coach@blackcardbooks, and tell me what your seriousness score is. How serious are you about responding to this 60-day challenge? I've got rewards for you. I've got gifts for you. I've got all kinds of things for you, but I want to see if you're a person of action. And if you can't take 2 minutes to send a quick little email and put a score from 1 to 10, 10 being I'm in, nothing's going to stop me, this is the year, now's my time, and 1 being I'm not going to do it. Well, it probably won't even send me an email. But if you're really serious, I want you to send me an email, and I'd love to help you go to the next level. This is Jerry Robert. Stay with this program. Send me that seriousness score email, and let's see how serious you are. And let's get this 60-day challenge done. Let's make this year the year of you being a published author.